Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. Hope you're doing well. We're going to listen to another interview that Potato Head Raccoon Tatum has done. And this time it's somebody, this one is real weird. So it's with Tristan Shepard. And he claims to be, and all this is what is very unnerving. Now, they all claim to be Nolan's best friend. But for people that are so-called best friends, how come they didn't look out for him on that day? But you're a best friend. So anyway, he interviews him, and the funny part is his mother gets interviewed and says she don't even know who this Tristan Shepard is. She never met him before, but he claims to be, Nolan's close friend. And I said, that is really bizarre. And so do all those white guys on the boat. They all claim they were his best friend. I tell you what, you ain't much of a friend if somebody ends up unalive the way that Nolan was. I was looking up the history of Ocean Spring. Y'all, it's got an ugly ass history. Maybe I will piece that one together so you can hear about what kind of history that town has. It's not good. It's not good at all. So anyway, let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Okay, not that one. Now, where is it? Hold on one second. Don't tell me this thing. Go here and okay, I got it. Okay, give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
With on my other buddy's phone talking to Warren. He was dialing Coast Guard because he hung up the phone and was like, hey, this is them, bye, and hung up the phone. And that was the last time I talked to him until the next morning when we all decided, well, when I woke up about 7 o'clock that morning, we had all decided that we were going to go out on the boat and go look for Nolan. Wyatt had already had his boat still in the water. We took that boat out. It was
what day are we talking?
That's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning on the 5th. The 5th?
So it's Saturday the 4th. was the 4th of July.
Mhm.
The 5th was Sunday. We were on the water from 9:45 to 11:50, 12 o'clock era, about lunchtime.
Mhm.
While we were on the water, we talked to a rescue guy, and he told us to get off the water and said that they kind of had the island and the water under control. That's the professionals, man.
Yeah.
They told us to get on social media and find out any information we can. And by that time, we had already talked to a good amount of people out there. So it just made sense. So we went back in and we concluded our search and started the search off socials and started sharing everything we could and try to get a hold of anybody that could have talked to Nolan, that Nolan possibly would have reached out to. And that led into the night. It led all night long. I didn't sleep at all Sunday. Monday, I was up at 5 a.m. I was putting fuel in our boat at 6. I got told that we were taking out another boat to Chandelier at 7. So I put my boat back on the lift, and I went to McDonald's, and then I got the news after I left McDonald's that his body was found. So it was already a plan that we were going and searching and trying to do everything we possibly can. And that's all I wanted to do. Is I wasn't there to help him out in his last minutes, but now I feel like as a friend and as one of my guys, man, I do everything in my power to help now. And that's why I have reached out to the family. I have donated to the family, and I have giving them just your normal death gifts, I would say, as you pay your respects. And
Do you think Benjamin Crump being involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times % worse. Because why on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown? You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back 110%. We back each other. Everybody I've seen, we back each other. And for them to push this narrative and really push it just shows me is like you have no idea who you're dealing with or who you're messing with. And I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad, because nothing's like that at all. No.
Have you gotten death threats?
I
Or, because I know that the other young men that I spoke to about this, especially the white young men, they're getting all kind of death threats. They're being accused of killing Nolan. Do you get the same backlash and threats that some of those guys have gotten?
Yes, I've gotten the death threats per se, but I've also gotten the threats along the lines of where it's like I've been cast out of the Black community.
Mm.
I've been called white. I've been called a wetback. All these things. I wasn't there to help him out in his last minutes, but now I feel like as a friend and as one of my guys, man, I do everything in my power to help now. And that's why I have reached out to the family. I have donated to the family, and I have giving them just your normal death gifts, I would say, as you pay your respects. And
Do you think Benjamin Crump being involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times percent worse. Because why on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown? You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back 110%. We back each other. Everybody I've seen, we back each other. And for them to push this narrative and really push it just shows me is like you have no idea who you're dealing with or who you're messing with. And I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad, because it's nothing's like that at all. No.
Have you gotten death threats? Or, because I know that the other young men that I spoke to about this, especially the white young men, they're getting all kind of death threats. They're being accused of killing Nolan. Did you get the same backlash and threats that some of those guys have gotten?
Yes, I've gotten the death threats per se, but I've also gotten the threats along the lines of where it's like I've been cast out of the Black community. I've been called white. I've been called a wetback. All these things. I've been sent photos of me and
his best friend. Nolan's mother said on television that as if she don't even know you.
Have you spoken to Tristan since Nolan's passing, and how are you responding to his account of what happened?
So first of all, we don't know Tristan. We've never met him. Best friend, childhood friend, that's a bit of a stretch.
So what's the truth in that? And how did that affect you? How did that make you feel?
So she originally touched and she said that we weren't childhood best friends. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I moved to Ocean Springs in 9th grade. No, me and her never had a sit down in-depth conversation like me and you're having now. It was always, hey, how are you doing?
Do you think Benjamin Crump being involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times percent worse. Because why on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown?
And now my thing is, if the parents don't even know who this is and never really met him before, and he's claiming to be a friend, why is Officer Tatum interviewing him? I would think you would stick with whoever was on the boat. This guy was not on the boat. Okay, he was not on the boat. He might have been on the island, but he was not on the same boat that Nolan was on. So my thing is, what's the purpose in interviewing this person? And he really showed a few photos of him with Nolan, but I just find it really strange that the parents don't even know who this dude is. So you're interviewing him for what? I don't get it. Okay.
You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back 110%. We back each other. Everybody I've seen, we back each other. And for them to push this narrative and really push it just shows me is like you have no idea who you're dealing with or who you're messing with. And I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad, because it's nothing's like that at all. No.
Y'all, this is Mississippi. Mississippi always take these stands against any black lawyer or anybody of prominence that chime in on a case. They always take this, they're the enemy stance against them. I don't see Ben Crump doing anything other than his job. You know, why would the family hire him as an attorney? He's supposed to get to the bottom of what's going on, and they're railing against him like he ain't supposed to do that. Even that old funky ass governor down there in Mississippi was trying to lash out against Ben Crump. Okay, so you got all this stuff to say about Ben Crump, but you have nothing to say about those teens that been lying all along. You don't have nothing to say about that. See, this is why I don't trust this case being in the hands of Mississippi. I don't trust it. From your governor down to the sheriff's department, all y'all doing is spending your time showing disdain for Ben Crump instead of focusing on getting to the bottom of this. But see, to the bottom of it is trying to get all these charges off of these teens. So they want the grand jury, because the only one that presents to the grand jury is the prosecutor. The defense have no say. So that's why they want this to go to a grand jury. And I would not doubt if the grand jury is white and they come back and tell everybody, oh, this was just an accidental death. That's what I really think this is what's going to happen, because this is how Mississippi has been operating all along. It's not going to be any different now. It's not. It's going to be a grand jury that's going to be slanted in the favor of those white teenagers that was on the boat. But they got the nerve to talk about Ben Crump and race and all this. Y'all made it about race centuries ago down there in Mississippi. Okay, it's no point in you trying to shift the blame now, for real. Yeah, that's why they want that grand jury. The only one, if you remember, that's what happened in the case of Breonna Taylor. That's why Daniel, the raccoon, wanted the grand jury, and what he did was presented a case against one cop and skipped over Breonna Taylor altogether. They did not hear anything about Breonna Taylor. Even the people that were on the grand jury was upset with what Daniel Cameron did, but you see, those cops got away with everything. They got away with everything. He didn't present no case for Breonna Taylor to this very day. But he's no longer the attorney general. But I'm just saying, that's why it was nobody from the defense there for the grand jury. That's why he was able to get away with that. And Breonna Taylor never got 1 ounce of justice for her loss. How can that even be possible when we know those cops went in there guns a-blazing? But this is what they're going to try to do in Mississippi in the case of Nolan Wells. They're going to just have the prosecution present a side, and we know they're going to go in there looking to protect those white teens, and they're going to come out, and I'm telling you, it's not going to be not one conviction on those teenagers. They're going to try to declare it an accidental death and move on. And my thing is, I don't see how they can get away with that, especially with the second autopsy, all of his organs weren't there. They should not be able to get away with that, but they will. This is Gentile ran America, and this is how they run things. They run it where they can get out of everything, and us, we get punished for every single detail, even things we didn't do. And that's how they've been running this place from day one. So, no, am I hopeful that they'll try to do the right thing? I already know they're not going to do the right thing. I already know. I already know. No, see, if they were serious about this case, y'all, as soon as those boys came back without Nolan, the cops should have went straight to their house and got their phones, got their computers, or anything else that would have given them some insight on what happened that day. What did they record when they were on that island? That's why it would have been critical to grab their phones immediately. The fact that they didn't do none of that stuff tells me they have no intentions on doing anything to those teens. They have no intentions on doing anything to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's no way they should be still sitting around with their cell phones. Mm-mm. And when I saw that, I knew instantly they weren't going to do nothing about it. They're just sitting back. And you notice the cops aren't giving you the sheriff's department is not giving you any updates. That's another sign. They're not sitting there investigating nothing. They're not investigating like they should be. Mm-mm. They're not. They should have been able to give some details by now, and they're not giving you nothing because they're not doing nothing. Yeah, it's interesting. I tell you what, we'll see. But I'm just letting everybody know the grand jury is going to be a big letdown. A Mississippi grand jury on top of that, yeah, it's going to be a major letdown. And the prosecutor can present the case any way he feels like it. You know, he can present it any way he feels like it to the grand jury. Hmm. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. And we'll definitely come back together tomorrow because I have to set up the Bible study along with a few more lives, and that's it. So be on the lookout, and y'all have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to pick up your hair products. Shalom, family.